Hey Yogi, welcome to this little grounding, mellow class. If you're new to the channel, I'm Ree, this is Burghley, this is Drake, and if you are returning, welcome back. We love having you here with us on the channel. Before we get into class, if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do. It just helps me and the hounds to grow on the platform. So just like Drake is here, this class is just going to be about finding ease, feeling really mellow, and just, like releasing into the body. So really nice thing to do, maybe as the first thing you do when you wake up or even before bed. And I would say these are the sort of movements or the asanas or the practices that I like to do when I feel like my battery's a bit drained, so I just haven't got the time or the inclination to go at it with a really tough vinyasa practice, but I do still want to tap into my body and, you know, move it in ways that are going to make it feel good. So that's the purpose of this class. So I've got a lot of props. So we've got a blanket. Any blanket will do. It doesn't need to be like a yoga-y one, but if you haven't got a thick blanket, grab a couple. I've got 2 blocks and a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, I think like a sofa cushion would do, like a couch cushion, or just loads of blankets. We just want something that's going to give us a little bit of height, essentially. So that being said, let's make a start. So I'm going to open up my blanket and have it roughly like where my knees would land on the mat, pretty much. I will probably have to move Burghley at some point, but we want to have, you'd probably have it a bit further up your mat than me. I'm just obviously pandering to the dog. And then I've got my bolster. I'm going to grab my bolster. I'm going to pop it kind of in between my legs, and we're going to set up for a wide child's pose. So take the knees nice and wide here, and you're just going to allow the bolster to provide you with a little bit of support. So you can have your hands either side of the bolster. You could have them kind of making another pillow for you on the bolster. I'm going to stay lifted because if I go all the way down, it'll interfere with my mic. But I really encourage you to take the head maybe to one side, maybe to rest the forehead directly onto the bolster. So, you know, find yourself a good place to be here. I want this to feel like good. Start to allow yourself to melt into the bolster. So maybe even that would be caressing or cuddling the bolster by wrapping your arms around the top of it and just allowing yourself to really melt in. With every breath, try and just let go into your props a little bit more. So maybe that means widening the knees slightly. Maybe that means just really feeling heavy on your blanket or your bolster or whatever props you've got to support you. Just keep moving into the asana. Child's pose is often just this place that we pit stop in and out of, but I really want you to just feel like you could find yourself in this balasana, this child's pose, and really take time for it to feel like it's giving something back to you, whether that be support or just gentle opening. slowly start to unwind, come up and off your bolster. And then from here, just move your bolster to the side. We are going to use it a fair bit today, so make sure that it's handy for you. And then you're going to come down onto your butt and let your right leg go wide. So your right leg will go outside of the mat. So this is where it's really great to be on your blanket just for a little bit of height. So if you want that, you're going to just roll your blanket up a little bit so that just your sit bones are on the blanket. That's just going to help you get up and over your hips a little bit more. Really flex the right foot and then grab a block or even two and just bring the block kind of, I'd say probably to the shin. And then we're just going to let the right arm fall down to the block, nice and open here. And then the left hand is going to come either to just hold on to the back of the head or to reach up and over. But make this really sort of easy, make it passive. There's no, we're not grabbing for that foot, we're not doing any of that crazy jazz. We are just trying to gently stretch through the side of our body. Really trying to turn through the side. Maybe you want a cactus and straighten, cactus. Feel that stretch, feel long through your left side. Feel like your left lung could just take on a bit more air than your right. If it feels like your head is hanging but you want to have your arm reaching up and over, then use your right hand to just hold your head. This is where the block is really handy. And now you can just let your left arm reach over without needing to kind of hold your head up. Nice. Slowly come back up. Plant your left hand behind you, maybe move your block slightly. And then from here, we're going to reach up. So we're going to lift the hips, reach the right arm up, and we're going to kind of come into this, I guess, funky gate pose really. But you're sending your hips forward, reaching the right arm up. You're just kind of letting the right side feel long now, closing through the left. Nice. And then slowly release, lower the butt down. We'll switch sides. This sequence is in no way influenced by the basset hound, I promise. So this time you're going to have your right sole of foot come in towards that left thigh. And again, 1, 2 blocks, whatever is going to feel nice here. And we're just going to let that left forearm come down to the block. I like to have the left palm up, but you could just choose whatever feels good here. And then we're just opening up through the right side. So feel free to fidget. I need to take that leg a little bit wider for it to feel good for me. And then reaching up. And again, we can be cactusing and stretching with the right arm, cactusing and stretching. Cactusing. Think about turning your torso up towards your ceiling here. If you want to, you can let your head rest onto the block so that you can really reach your right arm up and over. And this time you're feeling long through that right side, deep from the right hip all the way to the right fingers. Try and breathe into the right lung. Send your mind's eye there. Visualize that's where the breath is going. Slowly come up, ever so slowly. Right hand goes somewhere behind your right butt. Maybe move the block. And then we're going to, again, reach up and out. So this doesn't need to be your biggest expression, but we just want to send the hips forward. And this time let the left side feel open and long. Reaching the left fingertips way behind you to where you can't see. Feel open here. And then slowly with control, come back down. Nice. Move the blocks to the side. And then from here, come in into a tabletop. So you're going to take your feet roughly hip distance, and you can unfold the blanket now. I think we are done kneading it in that place. So take your feet roughly hip distance. The hands can point back or to the sides, it's your call. And then as you inhale, we're just gently going to reach up. So this doesn't need to be like the biggest tabletop you've ever done, but we just want to sway forwards and back. You can let the head go if it feels nice, but there's no call to do so if it doesn't. And then release. Nice. From here, take your left foot and draw it in so it's just on the outside of your right butt. So we're on the mat we're on the blanket completely here, that's fine. And then you're going to take your right foot and cross it on the outside of that left knee. So you're just coming into this twist, and we're not going to go for a crazy twist here. We are literally just going to sit up nice and tall, holding the right thigh in with our left hand and then gently twisting. So right fingertips go back and we sit tall. See if you can look over your shoulder with your gaze rather than cranking the neck. So the neck is going to stay nice and neutral, and you're just gazing over that right shoulder. Nice, release that. Release the right leg. This time switching sides. So come into kind of like this bear sit shape where you've got your feet on the mat, both knees bent. Bend your right knee, plant your right foot somewhere on the outside of your left hip, and then draw your left knee into your chest as you take the left foot up and over, taking yourself into this twist on this side. And this time your right hand can just kind of pull that left knee into you. And just have a moment here, just settle in, sitting tall, grounding that right knee down into your blanket or into your mat. And then just gently, as you inhale, take your fingertips behind you and then lift up and out. As you exhale, try to twist, but again, we don't want to crank the neck here. So try and keep the neck pretty neutral. Your gaze, so just your eyes are looking over that left shoulder. Nice. Slowly unwind. Slowly lean back and unhook the feet. Come to a cross-legged position, seated. I'm just going to move Burghley off the mat. Sorry, Pearls. Come here, off the mat. Oh, you're going to go to bed. Oh dear. Okay, from here, grab your bolster. Take it to the top of your mat. And then rearrange yourself so that your blanket is under your knees. So wherever your knees would be for a tabletop position. And then have your hands just behind the bolster. Have your knees underneath your hips. As you inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Come into a cow pose. Exhale, push. Cat pose. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale to cow. And exhale to cat. Nice. From here, you're going to bring your right knee in and step the right foot to the outside of that bolster, so kind of like just beyond your right hand. Again, a blanket will do here. And then we're just going to scoot that left knee back a little bit and kind of come into this low lizard here. And this is where, if you want to, you could take your hands, pop them onto your bolster and just allow that to give you a little bit more depth. Just finding a place that feels good here. If you want to, you could come all the way down and kind of hug the bolster if that feels nice. Let your neck be nice and long here. Nice job. And then come back onto the hands. Bring that that right knee back under you. Give the hips a bit of a shake. And then you're going to drive your left knee into the chest. Step your left foot just on the outside of the bolster, or your left hand, whatever you've got there. And then feel free to just wriggle back and forth, finding a good depth. And then again, you've got your bolster, so feel free to adjust it. Feel free to come down onto your forearms here. And again, if you want to kind of come all the way down onto the bolster, it might feel nice to do that with the bolster lengthways. So then you would allow your chest to just melt in and your head to land. So this is really your core. This is whatever feels nice for you. If you want to stay up onto the bolster and just use it for your elbows, you can. So just take whatever you need here. And then slowly come out. Stretch that left leg a bit and then take that left knee back underneath you. And then from here, keep the bolster. If you had the bolster long ways, now turn it so that it's parallel to the top of your mat. We're just going to use it for a really gentle puppy pose. So you're going to have your knees directly underneath your hips and walk your hands onto the bolster and then let the chest fall. So you might need to rearrange yourself a little bit here to allow yourself to get your butt directly over your knees. And if your head can land, that's fine, but you just want to use the bolster to add a little bit of height. Slowly come up. Slowly bring your hands down. And then you're going to come to sit onto the butt. So Nice and slow, just gently come down. And actually I'm going to roll my blanket up again for this. So I'm going to take it to a good height, so kind of a nice height for me to sit on. And then I'm going to get my sit bones to the edge of the blanket. And then from here, move your bolster out of the way just for a moment. We're going to come into a really big Baddha Konasana, so a Tarasana shape, so a nice diamond shape. So you want the feet quite far away from you for this. And then we're going to just grab a block and pop it kind of where our ankles meet. And really, we're just going to keep adding some height here until we get to a place where we can have our bolster lying onto the blocks or whatever we've got, and then leaning forward, clasping hold of the feet. And again, we're just going to let the chest fall. So I won't talk while I'm doing this because you won't hear it with the mic. So you just want to get to a good height where you can really melt down, melt into the bolster, and just relax. Maybe you let the hands face upwards, palms face upwards. Maybe you need less height, so more open hips are going to need a lot less here than I do. So just find something that feels nice. Slowly and gently come away from your Baddha Konasana, your Tarasana. Remove the bolster so that you can move the blocks if you had them. Maybe you didn't have any, and that's fine. Nice. And then we are going to come off the blanket, have the bolster any way you would like it. So for me, what I like to do with the bolster here is to have it so that I sit my bum right up to the bolster. And then lie back onto it, letting my legs fall out. And then what sometimes just feels nice for a little bit of extra weight is to just take the blanket and pop it onto the belly. And then if you've got two blocks, another nice thing you can do just to sort of stretch out the hands without doing any work is to hold your blocks as if they were trays. So you're not gripping them, you're just letting the block land onto your open palm, and then just allow your hands, the backs of your hands, to meet the earth in any way you want to. The blocks are just going to provide passive support for your fingers to stretch out, because often in Shavasana our fingers will curl in naturally. So this is just a little bit of support for that. So don't grip the blocks, just let the blocks hang there. They're just there to add a bit of weight, nothing else. And if this is too intense on the back, then maybe switch out the bolster just for a blanket, and don't have something so high. Or maybe it's just a pillow, just something to lift the chest, open up the heart. Melt into this. Feel everything get heavier with every breath. Allow this Shavasana to just nourish you as you gently open the heart up. Maybe so that you can have a restful night's sleep, or maybe so that you can just start your day with a little bit more opening through the side body, through the hips, through the back body, through the front body. This is where I will leave you, Yogi and Drake. Thank you for allowing us to guide you through this nice mellow practice. I hope to see you on the channel again soon. Thank you.